my name is Christy Berger, aka Last Minute Mama. Now the reason I call myself the Last Minute Mama is that I'm the mother of 2 small children. And I don't know about you, but I seem to always get them down for a nap thinking, I have a few minutes to myself. I check my email and only to realize I said I was going to bring all the goodies tonight for the girls' night out. What am I going to make? I don't have time to go to the store. What am I going to do? So I came up with this recipe that is fabulous for times just like that. I can use the items that I have in my pantry. I have just a few minutes, and this only takes a few minutes, and it works great. All right, so this is what I call Italian cream cheese. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with, we have 2 8-ounce packages of cream cheese, and we're going to open those up. You can use both, you can use the whole 16 ounces, or you can use just 12 ounces, so 1.5 logs of cream cheese. And I like to use the wrapper, the foil, to help push it down. Now, the baking dish that you want to use, that you want to push it down into, you have to remember this is the one you're going to serve it in. So you want it to look at least presentable and somewhat nice as well. So I'm going to push this down. You want to get a pretty nice even coat across the whole thing. And your cream cheese should be, it's best to have it at room temperature, but if you don't have that much time, let it sit out for about 30 minutes, and it becomes just soft enough to be able to spread it out really nicely. So there's one, and I'm going to go ahead and use both logs of cream cheese this time. Now, like I said, you could just use 1.5, but I like cream cheese, so I'm going to go ahead and use the whole thing. Plus, if it's for a girls' night out, there's no calories in it, right? We want to keep that in mind. So I'm just going to keep pushing it down, get the sides. And don't worry if you get the sides a little messy of your pan. We will clean that up before we get before you stick it into the oven. All right. So you want to make sure it's nice and even, or as even as you possibly can. There we go. And you can see that I don't lose any of the cream cheese when I have the foil as well. So the foil that it comes in works really nice. All right, so our next step is we want to put some pesto on top. You can't go wrong with a little bit of pesto. If you don't have a jar of pesto in your home, use some dried basil, mix it with a little bit of olive oil, and mince some garlic in there, mix that all together. You need about 3/4 of a cup to put on here. If you love pesto, you can do a full cup, but don't do much less than 1/2 to 3/4 of a cup. You really want the nice flavor, and it goes very well with cream cheese. So I'm using about 3/4 of a cup here that I'm just going to spread out all along on the cream cheese. And it makes a really nice color as well to go along with something that's not only extremely tasty, but really looks very nice as well. A friend of mine calls this a little bit like a bruschetta by the time that we're done. And that could be like it too. All right, so we have that spread all the way around. And now what I want to do is I want to take a can of diced tomatoes. These are not flavored, they're just plain diced tomatoes. And I want to put those all on top. I have drained them, and this is a 14.5-ounce can of tomatoes, so it's your normal standard size. If you'd like to use the flavored tomatoes, you can, but just remember you've got quite a bit of flavor in the pesto. So if you add the Italian style diced tomatoes, it may be a little bit much for some people, but of course it's truly to your pleasure and your liking. What I like to do to top it all off is put some slices of Roma tomatoes on top. It makes it look very nice and adds a little bit of consistency and the presentation to it as well. So I'm taking 2 Roma tomatoes and I'm just slicing these up. chopping off the ends. Now remember, when you're cutting tomatoes, you always want a nice sharp knife. You don't want to have soggy tomatoes that are not really round. They're more of an oval shape. The roundness really looks nice. So you can see this is a nice sharp knife that I've got here. You can tell our oven is ready. I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We're going to stick this in. Now because of the baking dish that I'm using, it's going to take 15 minutes to get everything, including the middle, warm. If you're using a more metallic pan, it may only take 7 to 10 minutes. So you just want to keep an eye on it and know how your oven works, how your pans work, and make sure that you don't cook it too long. It'll start to get bubbly and it'll be nice and warm in the middle. So I'm going to put this in our oven. And we're going to clean up the edges, like we said earlier, where we got a little bit carried away, just using a wet paper towel real quick. Your finger could also work if needed. Now I'm going to sprinkle it. I've got about 3 tablespoons of pine nuts here. I'm not going to use all of them, but this adds a really nice flavor to the top. So I've used about 2 tablespoons. We're going to put this in the oven for 15 minutes, and then when we get back, we'll see what it looks like. So we're back with our Italian cream cheese. Take a look at it. It's yummy, it's bubbly, and it's so good. Now what's nice about this, as he zooms in, you can see that this can go with just about anything. I like to serve it with my favorite chips, tortilla chips that I have over here. You can see it dips nicely. Get a little piece right there. You can always grab a little tomato with it as well. You can also serve this with a French baguette and make it, like I said earlier, more like a bruschetta. Just slice up your baguette, put some olive oil on them, toast them real quick in the broiler for just a couple of minutes, and you have a nice piece of bruschetta to go with it as well. But let's say that you don't finish all the appetizer. For whatever reason, everyone didn't finish eating it all, and you've got a dollop left. You never want to waste some cream cheese. Use it on your bagel the next morning and have a nice Italian bagel. Stick it on top of a fried egg as a hollandaise sauce, similar to a hollandaise sauce. You can do a number of different things with this Italian cream cheese, this nice appetizer. I hope you enjoy it as much as we enjoy it. This is Last Minute Mama saying see you next time when you have a last minute creation. All right, bye-bye.